at this wedding, right, we did something unique. And that was for a live cocktail hour mix, something I really, I think I want to start doing. And I did it with, so here's how it came up. The groom, like I said, they wanted really, the bride and groom, they wanted, they had specific visions for the wedding, a lot of cool vibes they wanted. And they said for cocktail hour in particular, they're like, we really want like a bossa nova vibe. You know what I mean? Like a bossa nova kind of just like a, and coincidentally, Santi mentioned, so I had a meeting with them. They said bossa nova. They gave me a couple songs. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll make a mix for you. And coincidentally, Santi brought up, like, the next day we're like hanging out or whatever, and he's like, yo, I've been really into bossa nova, man. Check this shit out. And if you're not familiar with bossa nova, it's Brazilian jazz essentially, and it was invented by this dude in like the 60s, I believe, and it was like it never reached super mainstream, but like it's super, it's underground, but it's like a niche, and it's like, I don't know, check it out, look it up anyway. But he mentioned it to me, and I'm like, yo, what? Santi's into it. Santi just mentioned that he was like getting into it and making like mixing around with it and stuff. I'm like, what if I had Santi DJ the whole cocktail hour live, And Santi's the type of he's such a good DJ, and he's the type of person that he'll plan his ass off. Like he really planned like a really good set for this, like did some research, incorporated every request, everything. And so we did it, and I surprised the groom with it. We didn't charge extra or whatever. I was just like, hey, listen, I'm going to do one better. I'm actually going to have Santi mix it live, and he's going to create a real cool set. And the difference it made was insane. It really was cool. I love it. I wish we could do this every wedding. I'm going to try and push to do this every wedding. I think it's well worth it. Now, this doesn't apply if you're a DJ in a market where, everything's in the same room, where cocktail hour and reception's all in the same room. I feel bad for you, number one. That really sucks because, the change of scenery really helps for sure. But it's not going to apply to you. But if you are in the same room as cocktail hour, if that's how it works in your market, you should be mixing cocktail hour. There's no reason. You're sitting at don't put it on autoplay when you're literally hanging out, eating hors d'oeuvres, just sitting at your DJ setup. Mix it. There's plenty of music out there. There's a lot of reasons too. And here they are. Are you ready for the reasons? Number one, the entertainment value. The entertainment value of live mixing, especially, in my situation, in our situation where it was a separate room, someone live mixing during cocktail hour, it to me is the equivalent of someone, having a live musician at a cocktail hour, playing piano or singing or playing the violin or something. There's an entertainment value. There's a live human performing a musical show, I don't know, act, whatever. You know what I mean? There's entertainment value there. And I think it adds to that. When you just put a speaker in a corner and you just have a playlist going or a mix going in the background, most people won't even notice where it's coming from. It's just background music to them. It's the same as going on an elevator and whatever's playing on the elevator. It's the same as shopping at Walmart and whatever's playing in Walmart at the time, right? It's just background. You might notice it if it's like a song that pops up in your head, you sing along a little bit, but not. It's still background, right? But if you have a live human mixing it, night and day difference. Literally night and day difference with the overall just the vibe, which is the next thing I want to talk to you about, right? It creates a vibe. My goal, and it's a lot to do with, this is another reason why, pretty much the same reasons is why I mix dinner as well. My goal for every wedding, and I tell couples this, and I've said this in the past, is I want to create such a great vibe at this wedding that people get loose, people just get laid back, and they're having such a great time. They end up having a couple extra than they planned on. They end up getting more loose than they planned on getting, because it's such a great vibe. They're having such a great time, and that's when you get the person that would never dance to dance. That's when you get some crazy stuff to happen because it's just such a great time. We've all had times in our lives where we were having so much fun. We did things that were out of character for us or out of the ordinary for us, like dancing. So this plays into that unbelievably. And this was the first time I've ever live, I wasn't, but the first time we've had, a live DJ at a cocktail hour, right? For me. And so Santi's DJing it, he's crushing it, and I'm kind of in the background, just watching everybody, analyzing everything to the T. And what I was noticing is the crowd slowly was getting louder, right? Slowly was like yelling at each other, like getting more, not yelling, but you know what I mean? Like it went from just like, hello, nice to meet you. Yes, I'm so-and-so, to like, yo, man, what's up with this? Yo, dude, did you see that? Like they're kind of like getting more excited. They were drinking more. For sure, okay? The bar was always packed. I never seen the bar empty. I never seen they had 2 bartenders for like 120 people. I never seen the bartenders not working the entire time, so I know they had extra drinks. It just created, and then when they got to the ballroom, when they got to where the reception is going to be held, it was different. It was different. It was elevated. They were hype. When I went to do intros and I said, make some noise for the bride and groom and all that, they were loud. Like, it was no problem. You know how sometimes you start intros and, come on, people, they're a little dead and stuff. That's because your cocktail hour is born, It makes such a huge difference. And then on top of that, of course, you can gain intel from this. Now, this also depends with what you're playing. Like for this one in particular, he was just kind of playing bossa nova type vibe, and that whole, like, it was a specific thing that the couple wanted. So it's not too much intel you can grab from that, because like Santi's not being open format and just playing whatever. But if you just have like a specific, like, hey, just keep an upbeat cocktail, or hey, mix of the classics, light traditional, or whatever, if it's a more broad kind of direction for cocktail hour, you can gain intel from this. So while Santi's mixing, he can see what songs are working and what songs aren't. And that helps me later on at night. Big time, So I'm going to start doing this more often. And my game plan with this, to be honest with you, is, and me and Santi talked about it, we're going to offer it when the situation's right. When the situation's right, we're going to offer it to a couple more couples coming up, kind of as a last minute thing. He said he needs about 2 weeks to prep. So, I'm going to plan it 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. Offer to a couple couples, say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. I think it'll make a big difference. No extra charge, nothing. Are you cool with it? They're all going to say yes, I'm sure. And then we're going to do it a couple more times and work out the kinks. And then I want to start offering it as a thing. I want to say, listen, it's this much if you want me to kind of like do cocktail hour and just have a little setup and just like a little playlist in the background or something. But if you want Santi to mix your cocktail hour, so have a live DJ for your cocktail hour, mixing and kind of really, creating that perfect vibe, it'll be this much. And I think it's something, it's not going to be for everybody, but I think it's something, not only we can like upsell or whatever, but like, it's not even about the money, because it's not like we're going to make $1 million off this. To me, it's more about like, I want to do it. I want to make it worth Santi's time. But mainly, I want to do it. It makes that big of a difference. It really, really does. And I'm all about stacking the cards in my favor. I want to set my weddings up to succeed. I want to stack all the cards in my favor. I don't want to just like, blah, do, I feel like a lot of DJs out there sleep on cocktail hour, sleep on dinner. They just playlist, autoplay. And then they finally get up, scratch their assholes and start mixing for dancing. And then, oh, this crowd sucks. Nobody's dancing. It's like, bro, you put everybody to sleep for the first fucking 2 hours. Then now you expect them just to pop right up and fucking dance for you? Like, that's not how life works, You got to stack the cards in your favor. And so I'm going to be pushing this, people. I'm going to be pushing this. But anyway,